last time.
It did.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys? Hope y'all are doing well. Happy Tuesday. This is Nallie S. and
Denay.
coming here with another mom talk. We're not going to keep you too long. We have little things to discuss with you. Before we start, as always, I want to say that my intention here is only to bring positivity, enlightenment to moms, to connect with moms who are here with us on this journey. No judgment, just laughter, just fun, just talking, just being real. We welcome you to the space and hope y'all are doing well today.
Hey.
And I was just telling Jay I love her glasses. They do it for me. And it changes with the light. I can't, girl. Okay. But before we start, there is something that I have to say. It's been put on me to say it, and I got to because no one else is saying it. Look, if you are on these social media sites, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you're on this side, then you come across a lot of tarot readers. You see these books, you see a shuffling. Those readings should not serve as anything but a confirmation. If you go into a reading and you're getting something new, more likely that message is not for you. Readings should serve as a confirmation, nothing else. You should not be on these social media sites getting your life direction. And another thing that's going to lead me into, there should be no one in your inbox telling you that they want a reading. Telling you they want to give you a reading. No one invites themselves into your space without your permission. One of the first things I would tell anybody is you are always in control, and if somebody's inviting you into their space, that's a big red flag. Don't intervene. Don't accept. Just don't even engage. It's more likely a scam if somebody just telling you what you want to hear. And the last thing, you already know I play around with astrology. I will make my little funny TikToks about certain traits and aspects. You understand that you are made up so much more than what your sun sign is or your ascendant. You are so much more. There are 12 of the planets, there are houses, there are three charts that I go by alone: tropical, sidereal, ethereal, which is, I was telling today, is amazing. I'm loving everything I'm learning about it. You should not be on these social media platforms looking for someone to tell you who they are. Who you are. You know who you are. You don't need someone to tell you. So if you disagree, then you know what? That's okay, because you're made up of so much more than what they're telling you, than what you're seeing. If you Even if you agree, if you don't. So I just want to say that. And for the last time, if you get someone in your inbox, I felt very called to your energy. Something about your picture just drew me in. I must give you a reading. For the love of God, it's a scam. They're scamming you, okay? We love you. Don't fall for it. And with that, I'm off my soapbox. I am done with my message. Danae is probably thinking I'm nuts. I'm sane, y'all. I am. I
No,
had to
it's
say it.
okay. It's fine. It is fine. You sometimes you have to pass on the message, right? You have to let
Yeah.
people know. Like sometimes you just get that download. Like I gotta say it, because then if you don't let it out, they'll keep picking at you. Like it's time, it's time, it's time.
You
So
should have been said this. You should have been said this. You should have
right,
been said. I was like, okay, okay, okay.
right, absolutely. So yesterday you and I had a little bit of a chat, and there was a topic that you wanted to bring up today.
Mhm.
So I am excited. So go ahead.
So, topic, spirituality, your children. How are you bringing your children up to be, you know, I guess, spiritually mature? We have to bring them up, of course, to know how to navigate in the world. We have to bring them up to, know how to be decent people. I would never say good, because good is a perspective point, but a decent, there's decency amongst us.
Right.
So with all of that and trying to raise an emotionally, mentally well child, what about spiritually? And I was just thinking about some of the things I do with my kid, and I wasn't sure if Danae, did anything special with hers. We talk about it a little bit, but I think it's I think it's an interesting conversation because I'm noticing my kids, they're becoming more and more attracted to it and they're growing more and more before my eyes. My son just turned 14 yesterday. I can't even begin to explain how powerful I know he is. And he's developing his own way of doing things. He found his own music to meditate to. He found his own way of coming, I guess, bringing himself back to center, of finding his focus. And he's learning to navigate that on his own. I wanted to give him that freedom to do it, and it's just so amazing watching him, you know.
Right.
And it's just like,
So
what am I raising?
what are some of the things that you've done like specifically for their like spiritual growth or understanding?
Okay, well, first, our diet. I know this is a sore point, and I want to say this right now. I am not somebody that believes that what you eat affects your spirituality. I'm not gonna. Well, I wouldn't say I don't believe it, but I'm not gonna put my beliefs on anyone else, because as far back as, I guess you could say, humanity goes, if I guess you could say, in certain tribes, if you killed an animal, you ate the meat. No part of that beast went to waste. I'm not going to sit here and believe that they sacrificed every single animal that they killed and that none of it was eaten. And many of these, I guess you could say, ancient cultures were regarded as being very holy or very sacred people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I will never judge anybody based on their diet and us, associated with spirituality. From my perspective, though, I felt like a lot of the processed foods and everything else, the water, it was not doing us any good. So I changed everything down to the way we bathe. I got new shower heads that filter the water. No water that we drink is unfiltered. Nothing I cook with is unfiltered. I try to buy natural, foods, fresh, things like that. And I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed a change with just our energy alone.
Oh wow.
And I stopped hiding my crystals and everything else from my kids. I leave it out. I tell them not to touch it, but the more and more they see around it, my middle child, who is autistic, he's very, very attracted to my crystals.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. This, I guess he watched me. He was
Mm-hmm.
he was not having a good day, so he grabbed. He probably has it now. He grabbed my lepidolite. I have a very large lepidolite heart.
Mm-hmm.
He grabbed, went and laid on the bed and put it over his head and did like a couple
Yes.
deep breaths. And I like to sit there
Oh.
and just like, that's my boy doing that. And of course, the 3-year old, he gotta crash the party. He has to have a crystal too, and he has to do it too. He has to
Right.
sit there and take his deep breaths with his whole chest.
Put your whole chest into it.
I gotta put him in sports. I have to put him in sports, but it's amazing watching him spiritually develop. It really is. So,
Right.
what about you?
Um, things that I do specifically are okay. First, I think it's important to share that I was raised Baptist Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and my son has always, that's all we knew. And then after I had my daughter, I really stopped like just going to church. But I
Mm-hmm.
also took my son out of a Christian school.
Right.
So he is, still having to go through that like unprogramming of it all.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found that has worked for him, okay, wait, and it's not the unprogramming of not believing in God, it's the
Yeah.
unprogramming of like within Christianity, how they believe and teach that it's just all about men, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, how it's all men, but really, there's the
Yes.
Father, there's the Son, there's the Father,
Mm-hmm.
the Son, and then the Mother, right?
Right.
So, because even if you don't look at any of the ancient beliefs or ancient religions, there's no way that you can create a child from two sperm or two eggs, right? As far as humans go, there has to be an egg, there has to be a sperm, right? Um, so for it to be, so for that so for it to be indoctrinated into a religion that you only need three men to survive or to live, whatever. That's what we're kind of going where those are the things that we're trying to remove from the belief system now. Okay.
That same, we go over that with each other a lot, and you know, my son even had a hard time processing it. He was not the fact that three men, it was just that he couldn't understand why didn't that make sense to everybody else. He said you
Mm-hmm.
need a mom and a dad to make a kid,
Yeah.
and it's not like a sexuality standpoint. It's a scientific, in order to create life you need these two things.
Right.
And he's just like, and when you think about, he said how you would need the father, and this is what he said he believes. He said he believes that a part of the son is the father, the earth is the mother, and we are the fruit. And I said
Mm-hmm.
that's a cool way to think about it.
It is. It's
And,
very insightful.
yeah, I told him, I said that's a beautiful way to think about it. I said, you know what? Look into it a little bit more, see what you find. I said, you know what?
Yeah.
You may discover something that we overlooked because, baby, we ain't got it right yet.
Right.
We getting there, baby. We getting there. But
Right.
I said, one day he was like, he wanted a little more attention from me, and I was just really focused in. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, I guess, when I really think about why I'm doing it, it's for them,
Right.
to stop this curse from going on. We got to
Exactly.
stop somewhere. And the education and the breaking the veil and everything else around us is that's the hard part. And then
Right.
rebuilding after that.
Right.
That's the up.
Exactly. It's, I think the hardest part is all of it, right? It's like,
I
okay,
guess
where do you start? You just start somewhere and then
you
you
just
just
start
keep going.
somewhere and
Yeah.
keep going. Exactly.
Another thing that I've done is I've been as open and honest about our family as I
Yeah.
could. And when I say that, I mean open and honest about like our magic and our gifts, right?
Mhm.
Because no one in my family before me, like no one would ever talk about the fact that, you know, we all had the ability to see spirit, you know,
Mhm.
like, or talk or feel like, I swear, like no one in my family has ever just been like, oh yeah, we're a whole bunch of empaths. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like no one's ever just said that. And I'm
Yeah.
and looking back on my life, and I'm like, oh, it's like you can see where there was things going on, or people were, I don't know, actions, behaviors. They were doing things that didn't make sense to our religion or whatever the case may be, but spiritually it made sense, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
Anyways, I'm just honest with him about our gifts, and I'm very honest with him about how if you go someplace, especially where maybe a loved one has passed away, that there's a possibility that you can still see their energy and not be scared. You
Mhm.
know, like don't be afraid of the unknown is
Exactly.
something that I really try to convey to my
Mhm.
oldest son because he's 11. My baby, she's 2. She's not afraid of anything. You know what I mean? She sees spirit
Mhm.
already and she'll let me know. And I'm just like, okay. And so she just goes on about her day. She's not worried about it. And I don't try to keep her from being able to see him.
Exactly.
Now, my son, I'm like, because once you get beyond the age of 7, you kind of lose it. If you're not allowed to use it, you kind of lose it. So he's kind of coming back into his sensing and his feeling. We had a really long conversation the other day about how sometimes he can hear me call him like
Mhm.
telepathically. And he can, because there'll be times I'll be in my room and I'll be like, I wish DeAndre would go get me some water. And he'll come in my room. He'd be like, Mom, I'm going to go get some water. Do you want some? Something like that. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, okay. Or
Mhm.
sometimes he'll tell me, that he can, like, it feels like someone walks in the room but no one walks in the room, little things like that. So I know that he's an empath and he has the ability to feel
Mhm.
and sense things. But again, we're still coming from that programming of the church where it says that
Right.
it's wrong or demonic, and trying to get away from that. Because I say, my whole thing is like, if it feels right to you, then it's right.
Right.
Don't
Exactly.
let somebody else tell you, like you were saying, don't let somebody else tell you who you are.
Right. Don't let somebody tell you how
Yeah,
you feel. You know how you feel. You know,
yeah.
I could not, like, even being from my background, I could not sit here and ever say that anything that anybody else was doing was wrong. I just
Right.
could not, and I refuse to do it, before or after. It's just not my thing. Like, look, I don't care, like, being the person I was, the Christian I was. I didn't care if you identified as a witch. I didn't care if you identified as an atheist. Look,
Mm-hmm.
do you fool with me? I fool with you. Do you care? No. Are you trying to harm me? No. I'm not in
Right.
competition with you. Let's go kick it. Like, like, it's not that doggone serious. And as somebody who was in there and saw a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, you know what? Look, at the end of the day, could we be a little kind to each other? We're not going to believe the same thing. Y'all are a part of the same religion. Y'all don't believe the same thing. All Christians do not
Don't
believe the
believe the
same
same
thing.
thing.
So
Nope.
it's easy for you to be a part of something that's clearly not unified, but you can't understand someone else's beliefs outside of what you believe in. That's not worthy of being respected.
Right. It's kind of ridiculous.
It's very much. It's very.
It's all based on perspective. And then at the same time, in my opinion, a lot of things, like, let's just speak on the Bible. That's really the only religious text that I've read all the way through. But it's a whole lot of allegory, and it's open to interpretation. So you can interpret I can interpret something as A and you interpret it as B, but we can still get along
We
and
still
do what
get
we have to
along.
do.
Like, look, is it that serious? It's really not. Look, am I gonna have to be stuck in a car with you for 5 hours while we discuss our differences? If so, then that's when it will be serious. But if not, I don't care. I really don't. Look, you don't
Yeah.
believe in tarot cards, okay? That's good.
Right.
Just don't be disrespectful. Don't tell me that I'm going to hell. Don't tell me I talk to demons. I don't. There's nothing about me that fools with anything evil, and
Right.
it kind of gets me. It's just like, before you know that person is interested in anything that you feel is taboo, before, their energy is all well and fine, until you find out, and then now there's a shift. Now you
Right.
feel easy.
Right.
I'm sorry to say, it's just you, sweetie. It's not us. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with us. you
And
you were
shoot,
fine.
the people who sometimes people that have the best energy are the ones that do the things that you think are weird, you know what I mean, or a little off, or something that you wouldn't personally do. But with them doing it, it works for their spirit. It's what they are called to
Yo,
do.
exactly. And
Right.
I'm sorry, but I love watching other people at work, because to me, it's just something amazing about watching their magic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
magic is energy, and it's just like seeing you work. To me, it's like watching you create beauty out of nothing. That's
Yeah.
amazing to me. Why curse? Why sit there and say that's evil? It's spiritistic. No, it's somebody literally taking nothing from something and creating something amazing.
Right.
Like, why does that have to be wrong to you?
I
And this is
don't know.
I made this one point, and it was a person who I previously knew, who was a part of my old life. And I said, as much as I want to go into it with you, I don't think we can have a conversation. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, here's how you can have a conversation with me. I said, on those days where you have your memorial, your Passover, or Lent, whatever you want to call it, where you take in the body of Christ, the blood of Christ. If you're sitting here and telling me that you don't see that for being a ritual, then we cannot talk. You go in, you sing, everybody sits a certain way, everybody lines up a certain way when they get their communion.
Mm-hmm.
You say an oath, you say you agree, you say amen, you say you agree, and then you walk back. Baby, that's a ritual. It has everything a ritual has. And if you're going to tell me that that's not, then we cannot have a conversation. Your mind is not open enough to have a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. As I had a conversation similar with someone, and they were like you could see it when that light bulb went off in their head, but they're so deep into it that they're like, "Oh no, that's not what it is. That's just that's just taking in Christ because you want to be more like Him."
And you're taking in the body and the
Right,
blood of
buddy,
Christ.
and not that's the bones and the flesh and the veins and all that other good stuff, the stomach
Delicious.
contents.
I'm sorry. Yo, it gets me. It's just like, look, no judgment. No judgment at all. And I'm not blocking your beliefs, but you sit here and dare call me evil, but
Hmm.
you can't see what that is. I mean, the moment I realized it, girl, I was sitting in my, I said it out loud when I was sitting in the car. Joe was like, "You realize we've been participating in a ritual our entire lives." We
Hmm.
sat in the car just for 10 minutes, just sitting there thinking about that. Just
Yeah, it's like boggling of the mind. You know, when you really sit back and if you really get it and you understand, you're just like, oh well, damn, I
right.
was. And okay, but at the same time,
Not that it was bad. Not that
yeah,
I anything negative or
not
bad.
all rituals are bad,
No, not at all.
right? But there are some rituals that are done, right, to cast the spell and keep you oppressed. And I'm not saying that taking the body of Christ is doing that,
No, not at all.
but just be aware, right? There are some rituals that are specifically to keep you oppressed. That's like the book that I was reading. Can I share a book from
Yo,
my book
yes,
club?
please. Yes.
This one, okay. So it's called Word Magic by Pale Chang, and it's
Oh,
the powers and occult definitions of words, right? And so in this book, they're talking about how the English language itself is spell work, and there are rituals that are practiced using the English language to keep you programmed into believing the fears that are being taught or shared um, to the masses. Let me say. I'm trying to be as short winded and clear all at the same time. But yeah,
no.
that's what the book so far is about. And I just read 8 pages into chapter one. Okay.
That was my download actually. It was um it was me realizing that that's what this is. That's what this all has been. Those missionaries came over here with that specific purpose to make
Mm-hmm.
it seem as if they were doing good to the tribes that were already here, to the indigenous aboriginals, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, they were placing spellcrafts over these people, and that's all it's ever been.
Right.
And
Right.
it's a part of the curse. Like, look, they didn't just stop at one way to get us. They got in there and they got us good.
They did.
And
They
it's
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, it's like it's a process waking up, and it's honestly, it's almost kind of like a it kind of gut punches your ego a little bit because you feel, I know I did, I felt like I was a god doggone fool. How did I let somebody make this make sense to, how did I ever believe that Christopher Columbus discovered something when people were already here?
Right.
The heck, and then he wasn't even the first one over here.
But it's how they, yeah, and again, it's how the words are being used. Because, like you said, how can you discover something when someone's already there? Right? How do you discover gravity when gravity's already here? All you have to do is be like, oh, okay, I learned something new today.
I
Or
understood
instead of
gravity.
saying discovered, you can say, oh, I'm going to claim this in the name of whoever. Just like
Just
the with the conquistadors and the what was it? The Knights of
Black Templars.
there you go, the Knight Templars. Yep.
Yep, but it's not about. It's about rewriting history their way. History is always the story of the winners,
Right. Right.
and it never said it was true. It never said it was
Never.
the truth. It never said it
Right.
was facts. It just said it was a story of, and it was a story of those who won. You can
Hmm.
believe it if you want to. I don't know if you saw. I think it was like 2020 when people discovered that Beethoven was actually. Yeah.
They were like, "What? What happened?" But that's just like how more frequently now. I don't know if you've noticed, like when they're, because I follow a lot of like conspiracy theory things,
Yeah.
and they talk about like the CIA and the FBI, and they specifically speak on the fact that like J. Edgar Hoover was really a black man, but he passed as white, and he was gay. Like his assistant was really his partner, right?
You know,
And how
they said the
he,
same thing about Lincoln too.
I, I'd believe it. I would believe it. I mean, if you look at how some of these politicians and things are now, they hate certain groups so much just to find just, and then you end up finding them at the glory hole. You know what I mean? Like, like, are you serious?
Yeah, I work with these people. I did. That's
Yeah.
one thing I actually didn't like about my job because they're a bunch. Okay, but everything that they say they hate, they actually support.
Hmm.
Trust me, it's all from an angle set on division.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's
Division
all
and
it's ever been.
control. Division and control. That's all
Division
it
and
is.
control, and good Lord, and it ran so deep, and
Yeah.
it made me think about, is shutting our gates the answer?
The gates to what?
Everything, shutting gates to our culture, shutting gates to our music, shutting gates to our craft, shutting gate.
Hmm.
If
But
some
would
people,
we be able to?
they
Would,
other communities have done it.
yeah. But other communities weren't as oppressed as ours. You know,
I
they
feel
don't,
like
because all of our stuff, right, was given back to us. So, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't have any problem with the gatekeeping of it all, right? But how, the question is, how would we be able to do that within our communities? Like, it only would, how many of our folks would we allow in? Because not all skin folk are kinfolk, right?
let them make the decision. I mean, that's why I say
Exactly.
I don't think this is a solution. It's just
Yeah.
it's often a topic
Mm.
amongst us. Should we shut our gates? Should we be quiet? Should we just stop talking? And one person, she put it, the way she put it was blunt,
Mm-hmm.
but it had me sitting back thinking like, dang, is it? She was just like, you know what? She feels like it's necessary to close gates. Our problem is something that we need to fix. Our problem started when we started allowing other people in our mix and their influences in our culture. We let
Yeah.
things in that had no place in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's not until we start fixing our own problem and stop letting other people fix it. Like, look, if you're gonna be an ally from the outside. This is what she said specifically. She said, if you're gonna be an ally over there where the problem is, because
Mm.
we know that we have a problem. We don't need you over here telling us what our problem is and giving us your solutions. You're part of the problem. Your way to fix this is go back to your community and spread what you have. Because at this point, if you're not educated,
Mm-hmm.
you're just willfully being ignorant. If you're still saying that there's not a problem or that you can't see what the problem is, it's just you. And when she said that, she was just like, shutting gates, send the allies back to their community to
Mm-hmm.
let them do work in there and let us fix ours. I was just like, dang, is that what it's gonna take?
It's either that or we all go back to our original planets. and call it a day.
Boop boop beep boop beep glort glip glort. Girl,
Boop,
sorry.
boop, 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 boop.
Period. Say less. Say less.
Just separate. But I believe that I agree with what you're saying, but I also believe that there is a way for all of us, for all of the people who are a part of the same spiritual collective
Exactly.
to be able to live together. Because, like, one heart, one mind, that whole type of scenario.
Exactly.
And I don't think that it's necessarily going to be based on, it shouldn't be
Yes.
based on color, it should be based on your heart.
Your heart. It's
Is
like
that like too hard to ask for? Like, why can it be that we are all able to share and live together? Why can't it, like, why does it always have to be that there has to be
to
an
be a
oppressor?
division. Exactly. Why does it have to be a division? Why? That's why I said,
Yeah.
I sat back and thought about it, and it's not something I necessarily agree with. I saw her point of view, and it just sat back and made me think. Like, I,
Yeah.
I can't see a God of love. Not that and I use that term God very loosely. I try not to use it at all, but
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of relevance and just everything else relation. You understand what I mean? But a God of love, unity, harmony isn't a God of division. Isn't a God of separation. It's hard for I feel like us to come down here and be an individual because we're so used to being a collective,
Mm.
and it's hard to separate ourselves from that. And something that irritates me is when we say y'all. Look, I'm not a y'all. I'm a me. I didn't come down here to be y'all. I came down here to be me.
Yeah.
Regardless of the melanin of how much or how little I have, I'm still just me. And I'm that, I think I'm like you, that person that was always accused of never being black enough. It was a running jokes amongst my family. Oh, you talk white. You
Yeah.
listen to different music. Oh, she's trying to be white. No, I'm just trying to be me.
Right.
So I'm with you there. It's just like, why does it always have to be a separation or anything else in order to fix a problem? But I'm like, if that's what it takes to peacefully get things done, then I wouldn't be against it. But I would hope and feel that there'd be another way.
Yeah. I would hope so too. And that's why I would think that just, I think that this is so funny. It's so funny that we're having this conversation because I was having a conversation with my higher self the other day, specifically about how it's weird that I don't have any real life friends who are like who are not like non-black, And like right now I probably really only have two friends that they're both black women. But
Yeah.
I don't like have any Asian friends. I don't have, Caucasian friends. I don't have Hispanic friends. And I'm like, I wonder if it's because of the race thing, or is it because my beliefs are so different that people don't want to associate with me anymore? But then I'm like, no, because there's a whole network of people on social media who
Mhm.
do that.
Yeah.
But I think just in my real life, right, I
Mhm.
don't have anything but those who, when I look in the mirror, they look like
Me,
me.
exactly.
So it's
It's
interesting that we're having this conversation because
mhm.
do I purposefully not go beyond myself or my people because I don't necessarily want to share our truth, our history, our facts about the facts of melanin, I guess you can say, like facts of life, facts of melanin. Like, I don't
Mhm.
know. It's weird. But
Yeah,
if I could have a whole coalition of like a rainbow tribe, that would be awesome.
that'd be beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, I would say if anybody could pull it off, I feel like women could pull. We really truly could. And I'm somebody I've had friends from all kind of backgrounds. Like I said, I don't care. I'm a vibe
Yeah.
with you. Like if you got good energy, I'm a vibe with you. And I'm just nerdy and impulsive and bothersome enough to get in your space until you become comfortable with me. did that.
You gonna like me today. You
It,
gonna like me.
those kids in school, you remember the golf kids in school, the world are all black. I'm the one that would be just be like smiling. They would get so irritated with me, but they love me by the end of the year though.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I feel you got a good energy and spirit about you. You don't have to be that way with me. It's okay. What do you
I
want?
feel you.
Do you know what I want?
Come
I
in, give me a hug.
I'm a trip, but it's just like, look, I'm a vibe with anybody, and I've always had. It's just it just got me. It's just like, why is it that anything outside of what we understand is considered of another culture? And honestly, maybe it's also about proximity. You know what? You befriend who's close to you. You befriend, who what you attract what you are, and
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, but I'm introverted too, so there's a whole other situation going on. Like I'm so introverted, and like I literally have to smell your energy before I let you in, you know? So
Let me ask you a question. Do you hope people call and cancel plans
all
so
the
you can stay in
time.
the beginning? Okay, so it's not just me. Okay.
No. All the time. And at this point, I'm like, don't even invite me cuz you know I'm not going to come. Like just don't do it. Like, come on. Especially like especially if it's going to be a place where there's going to be a lot of people there.
Right.
I can't do that. I can't do places that are open spaces, but then there's a lot of people cuz that
Girl.
drives me crazy.
So
Or
I get
go
it.
ahead.
No, I was like, so no, girl, I get it. I get it. I was just gonna say, I still do dental assistance sometimes, and I work with I guess temp agencies and companies that will partner with the National Guard and the Army and things like that.
Right.
In most cases we're in this big auditorium space and getting ready to do checks.
Yeah.
So many soldiers, I can't, like, I try to be there, and I'm being me, I'm gonna be me when I'm there, but I cannot
Uh-huh.
lie to you how many times like I have to go away from everybody, and I have to stay at least like away for like 15 minutes. I had one person walk up, he's like, are you all right? I said, I said, I'm good, I'm just recharging my batteries, just give me a
Yeah.
moment. I just need the sun for a second because my battery will run down quick.
Yeah, it's like they drain all the energy out of you. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I was in the National Guard, I was in a medical unit and we had to process people to go like to be deployed.
Yeah.
And oh my god, these big auditoriums, and there was just like person after person after person in the
Five,
line.
300 people in a day. Oh,
Yeah.
girl.
And I'd be like, oh god.
Like,
And
oh, I'm
then
gonna be
don't let
tired.
them be stinky. Ah!
And mind you, I'm in their mouth, all in the mouth.
Oh, the gangrene. I mean, not
Oh,
gangrene.
tonsils,
Gingivitis.
throats, I'm seeing all of it, baby.
Oh,
And they got the nerve. What you doing after this, boy? If you don't take your yuck mouth,
yo, yuck mouth.
I said that. You heard that. I'm sorry. You, I thought I said that low. No judgment. I just, like, sir, I just saw that you missed that all your back teeth broke. You clearly don't make good decisions. Don't, sir.
I can't. I'm having a hot flash.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I can't. I can't. I can't.
I told you. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I've had way too many jobs. Is it too many stories?
It's just too much. Or like, you know what? I'll tell you about. I had a job where I worked in a mental health hospital,
Ooh.
and it was like one of the oldest. I want to say that it was the first, if I remember my history correctly, it was the first one ever built in the
Mm.
state of Ohio. Okay. And let me tell you, like, I'm an introvert and I'm an empath. So, and there were still patients there that didn't leave when they were buried. Okay. So I'll just say that. Girl, that energy there was so, and it was in the middle of a city. It was in the middle of a major city.
Oof.
And I'm like, so you, and it was by the highway, and it was by water. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, I just feel like I just gotta go. And I would work the night shift because that was when things were just a little bit more quieter. It was just easier to handle all of the energy. And I worked there for like 7 years. I don't know how I did it because the today Danae would have quit after 5 minutes. Like, oh no, no. You walk in there, you feel everybody's energy. You feel the people's energy, and in my opinion and in my belief, I believe that a lot of mental illness is spiritual
Hmm.
oppression. We can talk about that later because our time is almost up. But um,
Dis-ease. Got you.
yeah,
Dis-ease. I got you.
yeah, dis-ease.
Dis-ease.
It was so you would get the energy of the person, the
Mm,
energy of the attachment, the energy of the nurses, the energy of the building itself, the energy of those who should have left but they still there. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I survived, but I did end up having to leave though once I started having dreams of the spirits that were in the hospital.
mhm.
Like, I would have dreams that I was walking up to the building and they would like be coming at me or like following me home and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And before this was before I was more understanding of how the spirit communicates with me, because now I know that those were actual like visitations of these people trying to get me to help them.
Yeah.
But at the time I'm like, it was just a nightmare, you know? But no, it was wild.
Yeah. It took me a minute to realize it too because I would always be terrified. And
Hmm.
it was just like, I didn't understand why because I've had relatives come and speak to me and I was just like, this is just a bad dream because I like my most you want to see me uncomfortable, take me to a graveyard. I can't stand
Really?
graveyards. I never could. No, I could never stand graveyards. It to me it just it would always feel like something was tugging at my back, and it
Mm,
makes me feel uneasy. So
I
I don't
understand
like
that.
graveyards, but whenever someone needs to speak with me, it's always a graveyard.
It's always a what?
Graveyard. It's always a
Graveyard.
graveyard. When I know
Oh,
that I'm being brought to speak with someone, when I see a graveyard, I know somebody's. And I was just like, okay, 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 okay.
you have to like prepare
I
yourself.
don't.
Yeah.
To this day, I still don't know what it is about graveyards that get me.
Hmm.
They just they do,
I
and
don't
it's just
know. I like going to them. I think I do.
it.
I think I do my best. I have my better conversations when I go to their territory than having them come to mine. You know.
And I think it's not a fear that I feel. It's just like it's almost like you know how you come home and your kids run up to you after you're tired,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like it's so over. It's just like, oh, okay, okay, okay. That's how it feels. Just like, oh, oh, oh.
Oh, there's a lot of people. There might just be a lot of energies rushing up on you because they know that you can communicate, but you have the ability to stop that. Like, you can make it so that um like, okay, so in my head, this what it looks like is that you have to make it so that it's only one spirit at a time that can come through the door into your office space. That's
So
what it
create
looks like.
create somewhat of an intent. Like if you have an intent to visit, these are this is how I want things. So is that something like you would communicate with your higher self,
Hmm.
like acts like how I set that up somehow. But I get I see I feel exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
sorry, y'all. Like, I can't when I cannot articulate my visions. I always have to tell you what I'm seeing as if it's a movie. But yeah.
I'm a strong empath. I understand
Yeah.
you
So
before I understand your words. So you're
okay,
good.
good.
You come on now.
Okay, good. So yeah, if you yeah, so set up your intent, and you can ask whoever helps you. Like, whoever your guides are, your ancestors. With me, I ask my ancestors. I say, you guys are they're the uh gatekeepers, or
The
they're like the
bouncers.
the doormen. Yeah, they're the bouncers, right?
Gotcha.
They're the ones that let in, those who
Yeah.
qualified to get into the club, right?
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. I
So
like
since
that.
yeah, so since we're gonna use the term, they're the bouncers. They let me know. They're like, okay, this person has on, this person's mind is here. This person needs to speak with this person. Like their issue is, you know what I mean? And then they will determine if that person is can come through. A lot of times, though, I'm going off topic, but a lot of times I won't let people who are still in the state of not being mentally sound,
Mhm.
because a lot of times it can get stuck to you.
I
So
know
you
what
have
you
to
mean.
so you have to be very very clear about who you're not necessarily willing, but yes willing, but who you're capable
Mhm.
to speak with. Because sometimes we may not be in our right um, essence, in our right energy form, energetic form.
Energetic
Yeah,
form. I
yeah,
got you.
yeah, yeah. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that I could share with you
No, no,
to
that was
like
helpful
help.
because I never understood what that feeling was, and I often avoided going if I
Hmm.
didn't have to. And it was just like I never understood why, why it never. I never think about graveyards.
Hmm.
I never think about them. I pass by them, and it's kind of like a solemn thought, like it, it's kind of like I know it's there, I respect it, but I'd much rather not.
Yeah. Well, you have to also follow your
Yeah.
spirit, your desire,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I know. I was saying that was like a joke. It's just
Yeah.
like it's not like
Oh,
like not like a fear thing, but it's just like, oh,
I
great.
just don't want to
You know,
go and have to deal with it right
yeah,
now.
it's like going to that auntie house that's always got something to say, and
I don't.
you gotta go
I
sit
don't
over
have those. I don't have those.
there. No, of course you don't. Of course you don't. You have a perfect family. This is my girl. You good?
I have
Listen,
no idea what you're talking about at
okay,
this point
okay,
because that doesn't happen over here. Thanks.
got you. Okay, cool,
Sorry.
got you. So, but yeah, so it's like going over that. Okay, that friend of the family that
Hmm.
your mom loves them. Everybody is just like, oh, I gotta mentally prepare myself
Yeah.
to deal, and I'm gonna have to take a nap after.
A whole nap.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take off tomorrow because, look, I'm going to deal with some people. They're gonna drain my energy. I'm not gonna be informed to perform my professional
Right.
duties. No,
Right.
I'm sorry, you don't understand. That's not my prerogative. This company has PTO set up, and I'm gonna take advantage.
Yeah.
And I might just play the whole scene in my head. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
You're silly.
Lighten the mood. Lighten the mood. And somebody came to see just when we were like saying goodbye. Somebody decided to come and say goodbye.
Oh.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. We said bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, he is adorbs.
He's a mess. Yeah,
Let him.
perfect.
He's
Perfect.
he's perfect.
Jesus.
Jesus, he's perfect. He told you.
I don't know what I brought over to this side with that one. I'm sorry, that came out. Oh, but I don't know what I brought over to this side with that one. You know what I'm talking about. You look at your 2-year-old, 3 o'clock in the morning. What did I bring over here? What came through my womb?
Girl,
Who are you?
I don't even question it anymore. I don't even question anymore because let me tell. Because I gave birth. I gave birth to two children who are me. Like they okay. Like one is my angel, one is my devil, right? And then they switch it up. And then one is the angel, and then like, but they're me. They are both sides of me. They just don't take on both of those sides at the same time. It's like, oh my god. So sometimes I just be like, I mean, I'm cool, so they cool too. Like, even
And
though,
you see the video of him hyping himself like, I got this. It's
yes,
like, when was I ever that cool? When was I ever that? I was never that cool.
yeah, but
It's
he's
like,
very much into his masculine energy though, so
do
that's
you
good.
it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna, I didn't stop it. I'm just recording. I told us, we're like, don't stop that. Just let him keep
Let it
this
be.
stuff up.
Yeah.
He is the greatest. It's like, okay. Look, I'm not gonna be the one to argue with you, baby. You the greatest. It's
Mm.
children. These children.
It's
These
children.
children.
They're amazing and they are a hot mess all at the same
And
time. So
make
I
you
don't
feel like make you feel like a hot mess too.
God, I just don't even like question it anymore. I literally just take the days like minute by minute. I don't anticipate nothing anymore. Just let it happen, like because
Dishwasher looks
I will stress
for
myself out. I will stress myself out, and then I'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm not a good mom." And I'm like, "No, I'm." They chose me because I'm a good mom. So we're gonna go ahead and let that go, and we're just gonna let the day be how it's gonna be. They're gonna be them. I think the easiest thing that I also did is I just allowed myself to allow them to be them. Right? That
yeah,
changed the game. Like, just let them be who they are. Don't bother them.
exactly.
Don't add no extra stressors. Just let them be. So my daughter, she'll be like losing her whole
Okay, there's your
mind, and
kiss.
I'm like, just go on about your day, lose your whole mind. I'll let you be in there for 2 minutes with it, and then after that, we're gonna move forward, right? And we're gonna find something else to complain about, but we're not gonna stay here because it's too much, right? I
Yeah,
don't know. Kids are a mess. They are a
yeah,
hot
girl.
mess.
You got to negotiate with them like that though. You have to
Yeah.
just.
But sometimes
Whew,
you can't.
this
Sometimes
is
like you
nice.
have to learn you have to learn what battles to fight and which ones to just let go, right? Because like my
Very
daughter,
true.
she's like the
Very true.
hoarder. My daughter's
That's
the horticulturist. She'll take every single plant, leaf, flower that she finds outside while we're playing into the house, right? And I've learned to just let her
that's
do
that's
it. And then
that's my
when she starts
7-year-old. I was like,
tearing them apart, then I'm like, oh no, we're not tearing up the plants today. So we're going to go ahead and take these and put them in our outside bucket where she keeps all of her whatevers, right? That her jewels that she finds on the earth. And then she's good because
sorry, I feel like
she knows that she did something that she shouldn't have done. And that's why her stuff got taken away. And that's it.
got you.
Make it easy. Make it easy for yourselves, moms. don't fight don't fight the
No,
battle before it starts. You'll never win. Trust and believe.
especially these kids, they're doing their best to outsmart us, especially now.
Yeah.
My goodness. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I think I learned that with my second one, because that one, oof, Lord have mercy. That one has like, if I didn't learn anything from that one, it's just to go with it. Just go
Just
with
go with it.
it. Don't try to understand it. I was like, that's when I realized boys don't think. I don't think boys think, they see things as a great idea and they just go for it. And that's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's an awesome part of being a mom. It's just like, baby, why would you think it'd be a good idea to take every couch cushion and pillow and pile it up and then jump off the kitchen counter? Because they saw it in the Winnie the Pooh episode and thought that it would be the thing to try. Because the Pooh Bear jumped into a big old pile of pillows and cushions, and it.
I love kids. I love them. I love them because they don't think of the consequences. That's the best part, right? That's the best part is when they don't think about the consequences and you're just like,
Okay.
right, like, okay, he didn't break his arm, so I don't have to take him to the hospital. But then in your head, they're like, oh my God, but what if he broke his
What
arm?
happened? Like, what happened if he fell into the window? What happened if he?
Right? What if? And you're just like, okay, but he didn't.
That's
So let's take this time to be like, hey, that looked really fun, but let's not do that
that's not.
because,
How do we not do that?
right, let's
You
not
know,
do that. Like
there's a trampoline. We can go to a trampoline, jumping. Was it jump zone? One of those
something like
places.
that. Yeah.
Let's go to jump zone. You got some jumping you need to do. Let's go jump.
Yeah.
Jumping jacks. Just not my couch cushions, not the pillows.
Please just stop jumping. How about that?
They
Stop
never,
jumping in the house. Can you off
you know,
of, off of
that is what
high
I will say.
furniture?
That is what I will say they got from their dad. His mom said that this child would stand in the middle of the floor and jump up and down for 30 minutes straight, just in one place, just jumping, watching Sonic, just jumping, just jumping. It was like, oh God, I married a special kid.
Girl. Anyways, we need to get off of the
Yeah.
thing.
That would be our time.
Yeah, it's our time, and I have to get my life in order before the children come home. I
Girl,
need to get some snacks together. So
I'm taking a nap.
you're so lucky. You're so lucky.
This is my one day to ever take a nap, and I'm gonna take my nap.
Do it. Take two naps, one for you, one for me. I'll
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate it.
I will absolutely. It was
All right.
great. It was fun. We had some
This is
people
fun.
drop in and out. It was cool.
Yeah.
But I hope everybody who did attend and who was going to see this later, if you couldn't be here, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'm going to say my little saying and go out. If you change your mind, you change the world. Your perspective is everything. You are capable of everything. And you have everything you need. Go ahead, Tiff.
Oh, that was really good. I'm gonna just piggyback on hers because I don't have nothing to say.
Go for it. We love y'all so much. And we hope y'all had a good enough time with us as we have
Yes.
with each other. So, till
All
next
right.
week.
Yes. Next week.
Bye.
Bye.